Some people wake up to alarm clocks or maybe traffic. If you're in the country, you might wake up to roosters crowing, dogs barking. Out here, wake up to frogs croaking, and owls hooting, and whippoorwilling, and a pack of coyotes howling together in this really strange orchestra, this symphony that you only get from being out on the trail.
The Kansas farmlands butted up right here against these beautiful hardwoods in this area.
I'm going to give you a little bit of history of this area. You know, tallgrass prairie, it covered almost all of eastern Kansas and went down into Texas, Oklahoma, up through Nebraska and the Dakotas, went over into Missouri and Iowa, Illinois, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. There were 170 million acres of tallgrass prairie. Well, today the ecosystem has been reduced. Just 4% of the historic range remains. And that's scattered across the continent in just little slivers and fragments, sort of like the Great Wall of China. You just see little pieces and parcels as you walk through it. That's the way this is with nature. What nature once had commanded, much of North America is now reduced to just fragments. The largest of those fragments is right here in the Kansas Flint Hills. Its landscape is just a gentle, grassy hills that seem to roll like the ocean waves to the horizon. The uplands are almost entirely given over to cattle grazing now. But there are artifacts from people who lived here for more than 10,000 years. And by the time that European explorers came in the mid-1500s, the Pawnee, Wichita, Osage, the Kansas had already established their own cultures in this area. The early European explorers encountered what probably was to them such a unique and intimidating landscape.
Just a pretty lane right through here. The way the trees sort of circle that over makes me think of the old southern lanes that carriages would ride up to the big house in. Coming up on Ottawa. Ottawa's a bigger town, has over 12,000 population, and it was established in 1864. The Ottawa Reservation was there, and they bought the land from the reservation as the native peoples were moving down to Oklahoma. You know, I don't know the details, but all during that time, native peoples were being moved, not so much that they were volunteering, so I don't know. I don't know if you can see them up there, but that's Dan and Denise. You know, again, the thing that's so wonderful about the trail, any trail, is that you meet people. And Dan and Denise stopped by. They have just moved to Ottawa from Colorado. Was telling me about the ranch that they were the caretakers of, and how it was just filled with bear and wolves, camels. How it was filled with bear and wolves and moose, and now they're living here in Ottawa. So, Dan, Denise, great to meet you guys. Really brightened my day. Put another spring in my step as I'm walking to Ottawa. Let's get going. Well, I'm here in Ottawa, and what a great place. You know, this is the Franklin County Welcome Center, and they really make someone feel welcomed. You know, these towns, I think
they're marketing themselves to be trail towns, and they're doing it right. The Franklin County Welcome Center, if you call and make reservations, you can stay, you can pitch a tent right out back. I'll show you, there's this beautiful little welcome center. This is the back side of it, and then you have this big grassy area, and that's my spot right there. And it's nice and shaded, really a good relief from this heat. It's 96 degrees right now here, and this is the 11th of May. So yeah, summer has come on like a whirlwind. But this place, there is water, potable water over here that you can get your water at. There's charging places up here that you can charge your devices, and then just call and make reservation, and you can stay here at the Welcome Center. So I am so impressed. And then Dan and Denise that I've met out on the trail, they live here in Ottawa, and Dan picked me up for lunch. We went and had pizza, sat and talked. He is a guitar maker and does amazing with his guitars. He makes these bow diddle or diddle bows, and these 1-string and 2-string and 3, 4-string instruments, sometimes off of a guitar body, but oftentimes cigar boxes. He was showing me a gas can that he made a diddle bow out of, and then he played it and it sounded amazing. I wish I had his musical ear. But what a great couple. And then they're coming to pick me up at 5 o'clock, and they're having a barbecue tonight. So I'm going to go eat barbecue with them. But this is the way to do it. Really nice spot. I'm going to stay the night here. Tomorrow I'll get up. I have to walk about 2 miles to get back to the trail, and then but it's well worth the walk to be able to use this shaded spot. It's just gorgeous. So I'll walk back to the trail and get on the way and go to Pomona. And that's my plan for tomorrow night. I'll spend the night in Pomona, and then got thunderstorm coming in Friday night. Trying to decide what to do with that. Haven't really made the decision yet. And then another change in my plan is I had planned to go to Harrington, but the trail between Council Grove and Harrington is not complete. And I had planned on going anyway, and then talked to an older gentleman who was mowing his grass last night in Rantoul, and was telling him my plans, and he told me that between Council Grove and Harrington, that the trail's not complete there. So I was planning on doing it anyway. I figured that what's not complete for bicycles is one thing, for hikers totally different. And then he said that there was some water crossings that they would need bridges for, would be very difficult to cross, and that I would do a lot of bushwhacking as I would go through that area. He was really discouraging me from trying that. And I said, well, then I'll do a road mark, and there's the highway that connects Council Grove to Harrington. And he again dissuaded me from doing that because he said that it's such a busy highway and there's very small shoulders. So, but with that in mind, I'm going to end my hike based on what the Trail Conservancy recommends, and that is from Osawatomie to Council Grove. I think it's still around 87, 90 miles, something like that. I'll find out for sure and let you know. But yeah, it's part of me. I want to sort of push the system, and yet I think the wiser decision is that not to, and I'll stop my hike at Council Grove until they get that part finished, and I'll come back and do the rest of it then. But excited to get back on the trail. But I tell you, this is the place where you can get into a vortex. You get in here and the people are so wonderful, and you could end up spending too many days here. So I will get up early in the morning, walk 2 miles back to the trail, and get back on the trail.
Well, good morning. Some things just don't go the way you expect them to. And if you look around, it's obvious that I'm not on the trail. In fact, I met Denise and Dan yesterday as I was coming in toward Ottawa, and they were on their bicycles riding away, and then they turned around and came back. We had a wonderful conversation, and then when I got into Ottawa, they had contacted me, and Dan asked if I wanted to have lunch with him, so we went out and had pizza, which was wonderful. And then I go back and to the Franklin County Visitor Center. Well, Denise, she comes and she's concerned about me being there, so she had set me up in a bed and breakfast, and it's called the Painted Lady. It's owned and operated by Sharon and Steve Guess on 704 South Cedar in Ottawa. And beautiful place. This thing it's enormous, 3 stories, an old Victorian style house that just is beautiful. The rooms here on the 2nd floor, I think, are the guest rooms for the bed and breakfast, and there's 4 large bedrooms. Then there's a sitting room with television and coffee and a refrigerator and water, and they really make you feel at home. The shower was a welcomed experience again, and so I spent the night here. But the tragedy actually comes before I got here. As I was packing up everything to go, to put it into Denise's car, I reached in my cargo pocket of my pants. It's a pocket that has Velcro top on it. I'm sure you've seen them, hiker pants. They zip off at the knees, that kind of thing. My wallet was gone. My wallet with all of my cards, my identification card, my military ID, my driver's license, my drone license, everything was gone. The money that I had for this trip, it was all gone. And we went back, we searched the grounds there at the visitor center. I went through, took everything out of my backpack, got here in the room and just did a gear explosion, inventoried everything where it might be, and it's just gone. I don't know where my wallet is. So I've got to replace all of those cards. Of course, the money won't be replaced, but that's a price to pay. And one of those times when, you know, of all the hikes that I've done and the fails, you've seen me fall in Pennsylvania. I talked about getting lost a couple of times in bushwhacking. The different things that we do that go wrong on a hike, but nothing has ever been like this. And you know, you feel and you question yourself, and just like a complete failure of what happened to that wallet. So I'm going to have to stop this hike early, much earlier than I'd wanted to, and go and look in one place in Rantoul. It was so hot that when I stopped there and found the Coke machines, I sat in this little building that there was no air circulation in it, but it was out of the sun. So I sat there for an hour and drank down a couple of Cokes, and then got back on the trail. So I'm going to go back to that little place and see if perhaps it had fallen out of my pocket when I was sitting there at the little picnic table that's inside that little building. But beyond that, I don't know. Started the process of ordering new cards. I'll have to go and get a new driver's license and get a military ID again. But yeah, that's extremely disappointing, and I wish I could have brought you more. My plan is to come back. I'll finish this, but after I go back and get all my stuff replaced that I can. But yeah, feeling a little low right now. You know, just you question how could these things happen. I tried to take precautions to make sure that it had been in that pocket. it's been in that pocket for everything that I did. And it was my Ridge wallet that was there, so I regret losing that. I regret losing all of my ID. I regret losing the money. It seems like such a waste. So, well, we'll call this one in the books for now, and I'll get back out later. For all of you, thank you for your support, and I want you all to stay safe, stay healthy, stay on the path. God bless you.